Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of The Walking Buddy Show. I'm taping this on Saturday, June, I'm not even sure what it is, 16th maybe, 15th? I think it's the 16th. Anyway, it's a little louder here than I was hoping it would be, but I'm currently walking in Old Newcastle, Delaware. Now there is regular Newcastle, and there is Old Newcastle. Old Newcastle is considered to be very historic. Well, it's not considered to be, it is. It's a very historic area in Newcastle, Delaware, one of the first cities in the state. And if you don't know, the state of Delaware was the first official state in the United States of America. So welcome to the first state in the United States of America. This is the town that I grew up in. I grew up here. I was 4 years old when I first moved here, and I think it was 18 or 19 when I moved away from here. I've always lived within like 15 minutes of here. But anyway, we're doing this the night before Father's Day, and a lot of people ask me, today, even at work, some who know me just a little bit, they're like, hey, are you a father? And, I don't know. I mean, maybe. The 90s were a little wild for me. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not a father. Maybe someday. I'd like to be a dad. I think being a dad would be pretty awesome. I think that, still might be in my future. But, speaking of fathers, I wanted to talk about my father. I said that I had grown up in this town, and so did my dad. Now I'm currently on 6th Street in Newcastle. I grew up on 5th Street, just a street over, in case you weren't able to figure out the math there. But my dad grew up here too. Now, my dad passed away a few years ago. He passed away on January 11th, 2011. And I think I've always thought my dad probably would have, in sort of in a weird way, enjoyed the fact that he died on 1/11/11. He kind of always, really liked kind of, peculiar and unique things. And that's a pretty unique thing. My dad was a really good guy. It's really windy now, so I hope you can hear this. Really good man. Miss him a lot. And, Dad, happy Father's Day to you. Now, what's funny is, well, I don't know if it's funny, but for those of you who have lost family members, you know that like the first year or so after you've lost that family member, certain things hit you hard. Like I remember the first Father's Day without my dad, it was a real bummer of a day, and same after that. But as time passes, things get a little easier. So tomorrow is not going to be a day of sadness for me. It's going to be a day of fond memories. And one fond memory that I have is actually where I'm at right now. The house behind me is, well, I'm not going to give out the address, although you might be able to see it. But that's the house my dad was born in. He was born there on Cherry Street in Delaware, born right in that house back there. And, a nice memory. When I was growing up, my grandmother lived there. My grandfather had passed away before I was born, but that's where my dad was born, so I wanted to get that on the video here today. So my dad was a good guy. He was a very smart guy, very, very smart. Man, you watch Jeopardy with him, he would know all the answers, except for like the entertainment stuff. Like I'd watch it with him, and he'd get like all the history things right, all the political things right, and I would just sit there and if they asked something about what was popular in music or pop culture, I would get that. So together we would have kicked ass on Jeopardy. What's kind of neat about this little town that I'm in right now is, like I said, I grew up just a couple streets away, and it would just take me like 5 minutes tops to walk to my grandmother's house. And what's cool is that right around the corner from there, where we're going to be in just a matter of seconds, was where my other grandparents lived. That was obviously my dad's family, but right where I'm at right now, this is where my mom grew up, right in this house. So I had my family like all around. It was great. This town was very like Mayberry-esque. I don't know if that's a word, but That's what it was like for me growing up. It's changed a little bit now. It's still a nice town, but I'm not going to walk over there. But the street where I grew up, I lived right across the street from the library, which was awesome. It was like 20 seconds from my door to the library's door. I think that's why I became a very avid reader, because I was always there hanging out. And it's a loud dog. Tiny, but a little scary. But
Hey, Mr. Gott, I see you filming. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. You want to be on my show? I got Pete Toner here. He's on the Walking Buddy show. He's talking about growing up in this town, and this was a good guy I grew up with, Pete Toner, and I assume one of his sons.
This is my son, Nicholas.
Hi,
Say
Nicholas.
to
How are
Mr.
you?
Gott.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Well, let's get back
You'll be
to
on the
filming.
Walking Buddy show. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Good to see you. Take care. Happy Father's Day. Well, how about that? Pete Toner. He was PJ Toner when we were kids. But it was so cool, the street I grew up on. I was like 5 houses down from a movie theater. There used to be an old movie theater there. Just a one-screen place. I think it was originally built like in the 20s or 30s. That was cool. There was a barber shop on the same street. There was also the church was on the same street, the church where I went to. Actually, we're going to be coming up on that street, see if I can pass by here and not get run over. But my school, we're about to pass by my grade school. It's kind of where I started the video, but I didn't want to get into it then because there was like people walking around and stuff. Oh, and here's something amusing for you all. This field behind me right now, buddy played football there. I was on a football team for a year, and we had our games there, and we used to have to run around. We used to run around this damn field over and over and over again. And looking at it now, you know, it's kind of small. When you were in 8th grade, man, this was a bitch to run around. Actually, it probably would be now too. Anyways, St. Peter's grade school. It's their grades 1 through 8, Catholic school. Obviously, you know, the whole St. Peter thing probably tipped you off to that. Tell you, I have very nice memories of it, but I was happy when it was over with. Had some nuns who were my teachers, and some of them were tough, man. Those old nuns back there were tough. And one thing what was cool about it though is we had this one teacher for 4 years, an English teacher. They just kept you like having the same teachers over and over again. And man, she was a tough old bird, people have said about her. She would just make you diagram all these sentences over and over again. And at the time, all of us hated it. All the kids hated it because she would just, you know, pound the stuff into you. Some people, she like literally pounded the stuff into them. But I'll tell you, man, I knew my English so well after that. I went to high school. All 4 years of high school English were a breeze because of what I learned in that school back there. So yes, you're getting a tour of Newcastle right now. If you're still watching, thank you very much for watching. Also, if you are watching this on Father's Day, and you are a father, I wish you a happy Father's Day. Hey, here's a little bit more Newcastle stuff for you. You're going to see a church behind me in a second. And it's the same church that I went to for many years. I'm not a religious person now, but that is St. Peter's Church. And speaking of my parents, that's where my parents were married. And like I said, I lived right on this street. I'm not going to go down to my old house, but I lived like literally, you know, on this street where I had the school at the end of the street. I had that church right there. Got a significant portion of my family buried in the cemetery back there. Used to have a paper route here on this street. And it was a cool little town to grow up in. So, what's Buddy going to talk about next? Well, you know, I'm really not sure. Although I will tell you about this. I'm going on vacation next week. And I'm so excited about that. I'm going to be going to Williamsburg, Virginia. Matter of fact, I will be getting there around this time next Saturday. Taking the train down, which I did last time I was there. My girlfriend Lisa lives in Williamsburg. She will be moving up to Delaware next year. and excited about going down to Williamsburg. And I'm taking the train, like I said, and I did that last time, and it was awesome. I love taking the train. It was probably about an hour more by train than it would be to drive down there, primarily because the train stops for an hour in Washington to, you know, change crews and all that kind of fun stuff. But it's cool because, you know, no pressure of driving. Because driving through like the DC area and Baltimore and Richmond, which I would have to do on the way down to Williamsburg, that's kind of a bitch. By the way, this is a little shortcut that you can take between Cherry Street and 5th Street. Passing by like a very old post office here, which is still functioning. And an important note, if you ever come to this post office, okay? I don't know if you can see it there behind it, but skateboarding is prohibited. All right, so if you're thinking about skateboarding in Old Newcastle, don't do it because it's prohibited here. And I think I'm seeing like this reserved for postal vehicles sign that was still here when, same damn sign from when I was a little kid. It's been a while since I've lived here. But it's a cool little town. I didn't realize coming here today, but it's actually a holiday here in Newcastle. As far as I know, Newcastle, Delaware is the only place that has this holiday. It's called Separation Day. And it goes back to the forming of the town and the forming of the state. And I don't exactly know what it means. It's sort of like, I guess, when Newcastle separated from like, when Old Newcastle separated from regular Newcastle. Nah, that's not it. But, well, I'm not going to say much more about it because I'm embarrassed that I don't know. But basically, it's a big celebration that they have every year. They have a big fireworks thing, and that'll be happening in a couple hours. I'm not hanging out for that. Although, wouldn't it be fun to watch fireworks? Fireworks are great. I'll probably go home and watch, like, I don't know, Breaking Bad. I need to watch Breaking Bad. I've never actually seen Breaking Bad. Everyone tells me I need to see Breaking Bad. I got Netflix just to watch Breaking Bad. That was the initial thought, but then I got into like Doctor Who and other stuff on there. Ooh, how about Sherlock? I think I need to start watching Sherlock too. So it wouldn't be a buddy's walking show or walking buddy show unless I complained about something. So I got to do that. I'm going to talk about pedestrians. God, I hate those damn pedestrians. Yeah, that's true. We're all pedestrians. I'm a pedestrian right now, aren't I? And I don't hate myself, at least not today. No, you know what I hate is when people, now I'm all about yielding to pedestrians. I almost always do it. I hardly ever hit anybody. But I hate when people just walk out without looking. You know, they just assume that you're going to stop or assume that you're going to slow down. And that can be pretty frustrating. Hi, how y'all doing? Weird looks when people see me with this thing. It's like, what is this guy doing? But yeah, I hate that, man. Especially like in a college town around here, Newark, Delaware. People just walk into the crosswalk. They don't think about slowing down. It happens all the time at the mall that I work at. A little bit frustrating. Damn pedestrians. I mean, you know, how hard is it to look left, look right, and so on? Anyway, I'm going to be wrapping this up. Real exciting show here, but very importantly, I want to say a happy Father's Day to all of you, even if you're not a father. I mean, if you've got a father, which I'm sure, you know, at least one or two of you do, you know, appreciate your father. You never know how long he's going to be around. If your father's passed on or no longer in your life for whatever reason, try to think of the nice memories that you had with your father. And shout out to my brother Ed, who's a fantastic father. And shout out to Greg Evigan and Paul Reiser, who played the fathers on My Two Dads TV show back on NBC in the 1980s. Happy Father's Day to you guys too. So everyone, have a fantastic Father's Day. Hey, if you're watching this before the end of Father's Day 2014, I suggest, well, I ask, oh man, my hair is like really screwed up right now, isn't it? It's like the wind is just doing all kinds of crazy things to it. On Sunday Night Fiction Club, which is the show that I co-host with Melissa Lummis, we're doing a special show on fathers, good and bad fathers in fiction. So, you know, hey, Greg Evigan and Paul Reiser from My Two Dads might come up again. We might talk about famous characters in books, in movies, in television. I'm sure television will come up. So we do that at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do that with Melissa, and if you've never seen the show, we have a lot of people can watch it live, or you can watch it anytime on YouTube. But it broadcasts live at that time. And it's great because we have several regulars who watch the show, and they can leave comments during the show, you know, with their thoughts on what we're talking about, or just, you know, telling us whatever they want to tell us. So if you want to get in on that action, please tune in. I'll put the link here on this video for that because it's on a different channel. Also, though, on this channel, I did a great interview on Thursday with best-selling author Darren Wehrmouth, who has a couple of books out. So if you're into writing, or if you're just into reading and you want to meet this very cool author, check it out. It's right on this channel, okay? It's a Darren Wehrmouth interview I did on Buddy's Writing Show. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy rest of June to all of you. And I'll be seeing you soon. So take care. Bye.